I'm Susan Bauer, the author of the Story of the World series, and I am here with Justin Moore, who is our senior editor here at Well Trained Mind Press. I should mention that we're recording this in early 2021, and we are not wearing masks because we are both in the same bubble, and we're thoroughly sick of each other. But never mind that, because we're here to talk to you about the Story of the World. Our most recent project is to revise the fourth volume of the Story of the World. That's the one that covers modern history. Let me tell you what we didn't do. We didn't add content. The content is the same great story that your kids have always loved. We may in the future, we're thinking maybe for the 30th anniversary, do a major revision of the entire series and add a bunch of material, and at that point bring volume 4 up closer to the present day. But by that time, your kids will be in college, so that won't really affect you. The important thing for you to remember about this revision of the Story of the World is that it is interchangeable with the earlier editions. So this text, and Justin will talk some more about this in a minute, has such better typesetting, appearance, all these wonderful things. But you can still use it with the old activity book, you can use it with the old tests, you can still use it with either the old or the new audiobook. They're completely interchangeable, so you can invest in a whole new series, or you can mix and match, whatever suits your budget.
So to begin with, the core text, some people call it the reader or the storybook. We made several changes to, as Susan said, beautify that and bring it up to the standard that now the other 3 volumes are. So one thing that we did, and one of the ones I'm most excited about, is that we created 45 brand new illustrations using Jeff West, our artist who's worked on the other volumes. And so every chapter has at least one illustration, and we've got people and places and battles and events and inventions from all throughout the modern age. In the earlier edition, we didn't have so many illustrations because as the children get older, we sort of assumed that maybe they didn't want them, but customers informed us that that was not correct, and we have listened. So we've made a bunch of beautiful illustrations featuring men and women from all around the world. Another thing that we changed is that we've added a pronunciation guide in the back of the book to help you pronounce all these perhaps unfamiliar names and places. And again, we were listening to parent feedback that they're reading this stuff aloud and they don't want to have to run to an encyclopedia or Google and look up how to pronounce these things. We also worked with a cartographer to make beautiful, crisp new maps for every chapter. Really nice looking maps, because history happens in real places.
It's always been one of my pet peeves with history books is they don't have enough maps. So this one's got at least one map in every chapter. Although we haven't changed the content of the central narrative text, we have made pretty significant changes to the activity book. Again, you can still use the old activity book with the new text, but we really hope you'll check out the new activity book. One of the things that I'm particularly pleased about is the new activity book now has coloring pages. So I have to say, as the original editor, this was my bad. I was like, by the time they get in 4th and 5th, 6th grade, they're not going to want coloring pages. We were so wrong. So
we've really enjoyed including the coloring pages in this, and again, those are by artist Jeff West. We even threw in a few new ones, so if you have downloaded that PDF set of coloring pages in the last few years, you may even still want to check this one out because it's going to have a bunch of new ones. One of the other huge things that's been added to the activity book is that we have revamped the reading lists. So as you may know, for each chapter there's a list of suggested fiction and nonfiction books if your students want to delve into that subject or that era more. And the lists were a little short, partially just because modern history hasn't had as much written about it. But in the past 15 years, some amazing books have come out. So we not only expanded the reading list for this one, and weeded out ones that were completely out of print and now cost $400 on Amazon used, But we've found some amazing books that have come out about all these topics, and we feel like that is a much more valuable section of the book now. I wanted to talk about a couple of the books that we've added just to show you a sampling. One of them that I really enjoyed was Dark Sky Rising by Henry Louis Gates and Tanya Bolden. So this is all about the Reconstruction era in the United States, the dawn of the Jim Crow laws and segregation. Not necessarily the sunniest or easiest topic, but a really important one. And it's written for middle grade students and high school students, and it's just excellent. It just came out last year, and it's very, very good.
Now, we have had parents ask us if they have one of the older activity books, can they use the updated student pages? Yes, you can. Most of the activities have not really changed. You'll just get better graphics, better templates. If you just buy the student pages, however, you won't get the new reading lists. And to my mind, the reading lists are one of the great values of this activity book. It allows you, first of all, to turn history reading into a complete history and literature curriculum, but it also gives you a chance to really up the difficulty level of the story of the world so that you can do it with your older students. The reading lists is what really adds depth and texture to your history studies.
So another thing that we did for the activity book is that we asked Sarah Milinkovich, the really talented cartographer who improved all of our maps for the main text, to create new student maps for the activity book. So they're nice and crisp and beautiful, and you can see exactly where everything is, and it's really easy to follow, and it helps turn this into a geography curriculum in addition to history. It really makes it the story of the world.
The audiobook has a new cover. It is essentially the same audiobook. The changes that we did have to make in the text were pretty minor, and I take responsibility for all of them. For example, I might have said that someone did something in July when in fact they did it in August. I'm not really great at calculating people's ages, so I would look up their birth dates and then say they did something when they were 26, when in fact they were 27. So we did correct a few of those things in the text, and so in the new audiobook, you will hear the difference if your student is listening to one version and following along in another. But apart from that, it's still the incomparable Jim Weiss reading it, and as with all the other elements, you still can mix and match between the new and the old editions.
And then finally, there is the book of tests and the answer key. This is something that we recommend for students in 4th grade and up if you would like to assess their progress and their retention. So it's simple tests for each chapter, multiple choice, true and false, short answer, and short essay. Now this one has had the fewest changes, essentially no changes, for the new edition. It's got a snazzy new cover to match it up with the rest of the editions, but it exactly matches up with old and new because the facts didn't really change. So the tests are pretty much the same, and you can use those interchangeably as with the rest of the curriculum.
All of these are available in multiple formats. They're available in, the text is available in hardcover and as a paperback. It is available as a PDF directly from our website, welltrainedmind.com, and it is available as an ebook wherever ebooks are sold. The activity book is available in paperback with consumable student pages and as a PDF, a printable PDF from our website only. It is not available as an ebook because it's got those consumable parts in it and you can't really print them off properly from Kindle or from another application. The audiobook is available as physical CDs, but also as an MP3 download. And the test is also available both as a PDF and as a softcover. You can order these anywhere books are sold. We're a small company, and as always, we appreciate your direct business if you're able to give it to us. It's hard for us to believe it sometimes, but the first volume of The Story of the World, the very first one, came out in 2001, so it's been 20 years, and in those 20 years, this series has sold over 1 million copies. We are so thrilled to have been part of so many children's lives. We are so thrilled to continue to upgrade and update this series. We hope it's something that not only your children will enjoy, but their grandchildren and maybe even future generations.